Before the smartphone. Before the App Store. Before any of that. There was a device that fit in your shirt pocket and made you feel like you were living in the future. It was called the Palm Pilot. And if you had one in 1997, you were that person. The one in the meeting who pulled it out instead of a legal pad. The one whose contacts didn't live in a Rolodex. The one whose schedule wasn't scribbled on the back of an envelope. You were organized. You were digital. You were, quietly, ahead of everyone else in the room. The Palm Pilot was small, about the size of a deck of playing cards. It had a monochrome touchscreen, a plastic stylus tucked into a slot on the side, and a little silk-screened input area at the bottom called the graffiti zone. That's where you wrote. Not with a keyboard. Not by tapping letters. You learned a new alphabet. A simplified set of strokes. An A that looked like a tent, an S that was just a single curve. And the device translated your handwriting into text. It sounds absurd now. It felt like magic then. The Palm Pilot didn't come from nowhere. It came from a man named Jeff Hawkins sitting in his garage, holding a block of wood the size he imagined a personal organizer should be. He carried that block of wood in his pocket for weeks. Pulled it out in meetings. Pretended to write on it with a chopstick. Asked himself, would I actually use this? Does this feel right? This was his design process. Radical empathy through physical simulation. Hawkins had tried before. He and Donna Dubinsky had built an earlier device, the Zoomer. And it had failed. Too slow. Too big. Too expensive. The lesson they took wasn't to quit. It was to make it simpler. So the Pilot 1000 shipped in 1996 with a price tag of $299. It synced with your desktop PC over a cradle, one button press, and your calendar and contacts transferred in seconds. That sync was everything. It wasn't just a device. It was an extension of your computer that fit in your hand. Within 18 months, Palm had sold over 1 million units. It became the fastest-selling computer product in history. The Palm wasn't trying to replace your laptop. It was trying to replace your paper planner. And it did. Here is what people don't remember. Or maybe what they remember most, and just can't explain. The Palm Pilot felt good to use. Not in the way we talk about products feeling good now. Smooth animations, satisfying haptics, a screen that glows. It felt good in an older, quieter way. You had to slow down to use it. The graffiti handwriting input rewarded patience. You couldn't rush it. If you rushed, the letters came out wrong. The device asked something of you, a kind of deliberate attention. And when you gave it that, it responded. The tap of the stylus on the screen had a specific sound. Hollow. Slightly plasticky. The screen had a slight resistance. It wasn't glass. It was a soft polymer surface. It scratched easily if you weren't careful. People were careful. You carried the stylus in its little slot and you didn't lose it. Because losing the stylus meant losing access to your whole digital life. The hot syncing was a ritual. You came home, dropped the Pilot in its cradle, pressed the button. Watched the little progress indicator sweep across the grey screen. Everything backed up. Everything in sync. That feeling of everything accounted for. That quiet satisfaction is something a lot of people haven't felt in the same way since. Today our data syncs silently, invisibly, constantly. We never have to think about it. But we also never get to do it. We never get that small ceremony of completion. Palm sold to US Robotics. US Robotics sold to 3Com. Then Palm spun back out on its own. Handspring. The trio. HP bought it. HP killed it. The story of Palm after its peak is a story of corporate confusion, masquerading as strategy. But the real ending came from somewhere else entirely. In 2007, Steve Jobs walked onto a stage in San Francisco and showed the world a phone with no buttons, a glass screen, and an operating system that made the stylus obsolete. The Palm was already fading by then. But the iPhone was its eulogy. What Palm built was real, though. It proved that people wanted a personal digital device. Not a shrunken laptop, but something native to their pocket. The whole smartphone category exists, in part, because Palm showed it was possible. Jeff Hawkins went on to found Handspring, then Numenta, a neuroscience company building theories of how the human brain works. He never really left his original question. What is intelligence, and how do we build it into something small enough to carry? The Palm Pilot answered that question for a moment in time. Somewhere, in a junk drawer or a storage unit or the back of a sock drawer. There is probably one sitting right now. Stylus in its slot. Screen grey and waiting. 2 AAA batteries away from booting up. Your contacts from 1999 are still in there. That calendar entry from a Tuesday in March, 2001. A to-do list that never got checked off. Some things you carry without meaning to. Some things carry you.